Greetings and welcome back to another Chakras, Angels, Tarot Pick a Card reading. Today's topic will be a message from 4 of the Archangels to your inner child. We will, as always, use the chakra cards and the angel cards. And if you choose pile 1 on the far left with the tattooed tarot and the blue heart stone, you will receive your message using the tattooed tarot. And if you choose pile 2 with the beautiful amber colored stone on top of the Art Nouveau tarot, you will receive your message using that deck. If you choose pile 3, you will receive your message from the Edgar Allan Poe tarot, and that is the beautiful deck of cards in the center with the angel stone on top of it. And if you choose pile 4, you will receive your message from the beautiful Affirmators tarot, that's the purple box, with the Jade Angel on top of it. And if you choose pile 5, you will receive your message using the Lightworker Oracle, and that is the blue box on the far right with the beautiful green colored heart stone on top of it. Take a moment to feel which deck you are intuitively drawn to, and then please skip ahead to the pile that corresponds with your number. 1 if you chose the Tattoo Tarot, 2 if you chose the Art Nouveau Tarot, 3 if you chose Edgar Allan Poe Tarot, 4 if you chose Affirmators Tarot, 5 if you chose the Lightworker Oracle. Greetings, pile 1, you chose the Tattoo Tarot, and today you will be receiving a message from the Archangels to your inner child. And today's message will be from Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, and Archangel Zadkiel. Now first, we're going to get 2 chakra cards and then 2 angel cards. And this will help me see, pile 1, which chakras you are working on specifically, and which part of your inner child you are working on healing at this time. And maybe we could even think about it as, instead of working on it, that you're playing with it, that you're taking this energy and you're feeling it. You're playing around with it like Play-Doh. You're feeling the energy in your hands. You're seeing what shape it takes. You're seeing what in the past is asking you to forgive. We're going to pull 2 chakra cards. Now, wow, pile 1. I'm just going to pull one extra chakra card here because this really wanted to come out. Will. Okay. And then I'm also going to pull 2 angel cards. And then, of course, pile 1 people. Wow, I'm feeling a lot of fire energy around these pile 1 people. Really amazing, like a lot of Leo, Sagittarius, Aries energy, or you may have a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries person in your life that's very important to you. But probably you are the fire sign, or you have fire rising. Okay, now, God, please surround me with extra angels of guidance, led by Archangel Gabriel. And please surround everyone who chose pile 1 with extra angels of guidance, led by Archangel Gabriel. Please let me give them a really awesome, great reading. Please let their hearts open and be flooded with divine love through all space and time. Okay, pile 1. Let's get you 2 angel cards. Beautiful energy, pile 1. Okay. Now, what I'm going to see right away here is which areas of life you are working on and how experiences from your past are affecting this current area of your life. Right away, we have a 3rd chakra issue that's coming up where your will, your desire to achieve your goals and make your own life decisions is being profoundly influenced and sometimes even hindered by someone else who has an extremely strong will in your periphery. You are such a beautifully creative person. I'm seeing a lot of people who cook, who do a lot of interior design, people who are creating beauty where there was not any before. a lot of people who take care of kids, who do daycare, who are teachers, a lot of energy around libraries, school. I mean, also getting nurses and hospital energy, people who are in healing areas, even possibly a dentist office, a hygienist. We're getting energy of healers. So whether you are a doctor, a nurse, a dentist, you are in a hospital, you're in a clinic, there's a lot of that energy with pile 1. And some of you are very unhappy with your career because you felt that you chose your particular career path based on the strong will of someone in your periphery when you were a child. Let me get a really clear picture of this. Yes, and because your will is so strongly overpowered and overshadowed by dominant people in your life, and because that current energy is a re-manifestation of a power dynamic that you experienced as a child, the angel's most specific message for you is going to be forgive the person or persons in your past, and especially when you were a child, but also when you were a teenager, who told you that what they wanted for your future was more important than your own desire for your future. This strength is coming in because you are working on spiritual strength training. So some people literally go to the gym and work out and have a personal coach and do personal training to increase their strength. And for you, pile 1, it's your psychic strength that needs work. Pile 1, a lot of fire energy, and that can lead to battles of the will when you have another person who is just as equally passionate about what is right and true in the situation. Now I want to pull 4 cards from the Tattoo Tarot, and we're going to get 1 card from Archangel Michael, 1 card from Archangel Gabriel, 1 card from Archangel Uriel, and 1 card from Archangel Zadkiel. Now, Archangel Gabriel is the archangel who oversees all guardian angels. So, God, please surround me with extra angels of guidance and help me give the best message from Archangel Gabriel to everyone who chose pile 1, please. Okay, thank you. Okay. Right away, you are not happy with your job. So pile 1, people who chose pile 1, this is a message for you to know that it is never too late. It is never too late to go back to school, increase your education. It is never too late to choose a new path, to channel your will into a new life path, to get creative, to figure out, hey, maybe I can turn my side hustle into my primary source of income. It might take some time. It might take some brainstorming and a creative approach, but it is possible, and you can take action to manifest that. Who in your life is holding a false image of yourself and a false vision of your future up in the 6th chakra that's conflicting with your own image of yourself and vision of your future? That is the person that you will want to forgive for holding that false image of yourself and false vision of your future. Thank you, Archangel Gabriel. And now we're going to get a message from Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael oversees all of the angels of truth. Truth is often our most lethal weapon in a battle. And sometimes we call upon Archangel Michael when we have to literally fight. But when we are doing regular, everyday spiritual warrior battle, he is with us. Anytime there's any conflict, and it's a conflict between two people's or two entities' will, we can call on Archangel Michael to strengthen our will and align it with divine will, which is the will of God. Nothing is stronger. Archangel Michael is giving us a message about judgment. This is a beautiful card. In the traditional Rider-Waite deck, what we see is people being resurrected, literally from the corpse state into the afterlife. And what Archangel Michael is saying here is that people who are holding this false vision of your future, they and their energy will eventually either literally cease because they will become deceased, or they will leave your life, or you will leave their life. And so their energy will have less and less influence. It will dissipate over time and have less and less influence over your choices. And sometimes you may have noticed in the past where you made a choice and it was actually according to someone else's desire for you, someone else's will. This is a beautiful card, and I'll tell you why it's so important. It's got the flames. Now, the traditional Rider-Waite deck does not have flames, but there's so much fire energy in pile 1 that I think it's excellent that we have the tattoo tarot that we're choosing from and that it happens to have this particular imagery. Now, pile 1, this is great if you could imagine God's will as flames of power to literally be a metaphorical conflagration that can spread through your life and burn away anything that is blocking you from your happiest, most ideal life path. Again, we want to use the power of forgiveness to forgive anyone holding a false image of ourselves and a false vision of our future. So we had a message from Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Michael, and now we will get a message from Archangel Uriel. Now, Archangel Uriel oversees the angels of peace. Now, specifically when we are grieving, we are mourning, Archangel Uriel and the angels of peace will surround us to help us feel comfort in the midst of great pain. And what does Archangel Uriel want to say to pile 1? Okay. The Three of Wands. Oh, this is a beautiful card. Now, when we have the Three of Wands in the traditional deck, this is the card of the merchant who is watching their investment on ships literally sail away. And they have great hope that eventually those ships will come back to shore with a ton of money and gold on them because their wares have been sold in foreign lands. This is very interesting because Archangel Uriel is telling you, usually this has to do with investment, but also that, if we're looking at it in the context of financial scenarios, it would be to not panic, to feel calm, to feel peace about any particular investments. So if you are checking your 401k 50 times a day, please don't. Archangel Uriel is saying, this too shall pass. If there's conflict and you're feeling fear and concern, breathe in, take a deep, deep breath, relax. Know that the angels surround you. They surround your home. They surround your family, your life. What looks like stormy waters will eventually calm into a beautiful, placid sea. Much like this beautiful ocean and the beach here. So Archangel Uriel is saying, relax, everything's going to be okay. And I have to say as the reader that this is not financial advice. Okay. Remember, these readings are for entertainment only. Now, Archangel Uriel, through this particular card, is reminding us to be calm, to remind ourselves that this too shall pass, that all pain and suffering eventually and inevitably ends, even if it's only through the mercy of death. At some point, all pain and suffering ends. For some of you, this is a reminder that your future needs to involve or ought to involve financial planning. You may have had people in your past who withheld that information from you, who did not teach you how to save, how to attain financial security. And so Archangel Uriel through this card is reminding you, learn everything that you can. It's available very cheaply in books and sometimes for free in books that you would get at the library. And then there are other ways to get financial advice as well. Now let's get a card from Archangel Zadkiel. Archangel Zadkiel is such an amazing, beautiful energy. Archangel Zadkiel is the Archangel of Joy. And because he's the Archangel of Joy and he corresponds to pure happiness when our heart is completely open, he is also the Archangel of Forgiveness. And that is why I always recommend that when you are forgiving, that you ask God to surround you with extra angels of forgiveness. And so sometimes Archangel Zadkiel will pop in because you're calling on the angels that he oversees. So God, please let me get the best card for Archangel Zadkiel for pile 1. Pile 1, you got the 6 of Wands from Archangel Zadkiel. This is a beautiful card of victory and triumph. It means when you are having a battle of a battle of wills, you are going to win. And the beauty of this card coming from Archangel Zadkiel is that it's going to be in a joyful way. It's going to be so beautiful and cool. So anything that your heart is heavy about from the past because of people who did not love you when you were a child, people, especially pile 1, I'm getting a lot of energy around your teenage years. So especially where you had these great ideas, this is what I want to do when I grow up. It's going to be so amazing. And other people told you, no, do this instead, or no, you cannot do that. They forbade you to do that. Those people are asking you at the soul level for forgiveness. So the beauty of this card of victory coming from Archangel Zadkiel is the victory is going to be joyful for both people. It's not going to be a win-lose situation. It's going to be a joy-joy situation. So please know that this is a beautiful message coming from the archangels to you, pile 1, that the key message from all of the angels is to forgive anyone in the past who held a false image of yourself and a false vision of your future, and for pile 1, especially during your teenage years. And you can end this reading now, of course, but I do want to just give you just a quick tip. If you're trying to forgive someone for holding a false image of yourself and a false vision of your future, you can just say, God, please surround me with extra angels of forgiveness, led by Archangel Zadkiel. Please let my guardian angel stand behind me and flood my heart with divine love. And please, God, surround this person that you're going to forgive. Please surround that person with extra angels of forgiveness, led by Archangel Zadkiel. Please let their heart be healed of all pain and sadness and filled with joy. Please let my heart be healed of all pain and sadness and filled with joy. Please don't let them hurt anyone else the way that they hurt me by holding a false image of myself and a false vision of my future. If it is too hard to go right into forgiving by saying the forgiveness prayer, you can simply say, God, please just put the desire to forgive in my heart. And just say that whenever you think of this person, whenever they cross your mind, and especially if you're feeling anger and a sense of betrayal or sadness when you think of that person, you can simply say, God, please just put the desire to forgive in my heart. I don't want to forgive, but please just put the desire to forgive into my heart. Thank you so much for watching Pile 1, and please leave a comment below. I'd love it if you liked and subscribed, and thank you so much for watching. Pile 2, welcome back. You chose the beautiful Art Nouveau tarot deck. And today you'll be receiving messages from the archangels to your inner child. And for some of you, this may be your inner teenager. And our auric field, it gets really imprinted when we are young, profoundly imprinted by the people who are in our lives most frequently, so most often. And then if we had an experience that was particularly memorable, that person's auric field would make an impression, and in fact, an etheric depression into our aura, almost like a hole. And then their energy would fill that space with their energy. And it creates a magnet so that later in life, there is a magnet that will cause us to seek situations, even if traumatic, that are similar to the power dynamic that was present in the original experience. You can read more about that in my book, Chakra Mirror Math, if you would like. Let's get a couple of chakra cards and then a couple of angel cards before we get our messages from the archangels so that I can get a really clear vision of what you are going through, pile 2, and what it is that you're working on right now. And we could even think of it as playing with it instead of working on it. What are we playing with right now? Are we playing with Play-Doh? Are we playing Barbies? Are we playing Hot Wheels? What are we doing? Maybe we're a little bit older. Maybe this message is going to go to our inner teenager. Maybe we're doing makeup. Maybe we're getting ready for a dance. Maybe we're super nervous because we're about to go play a really competitive sport. What's coming up for you guys? What are you thinking about here? Oh, you guys need 3 angel cards. Okay. Okay. All right. Pile 2. We have will and throat chakra. And of course, this blue border tells us that this is also a 5th chakra card. So you got 2 5th chakra cards. And then you got the angel of stress, the career angel, and the angel of friendship. Right away, pile 2. And let me reiterate this. God, please surround me with extra angels of guidance led by Archangel Gabriel, so I give the best message for everybody in pile 2. Please, God, surround everybody in pile 2 with extra angels of guidance. Please, God, let their hearts be open and flooded with divine love through all space and time. You guys are working on speaking up. Literally, some of you in pile 2, you get a lump in your throat. You'll be sitting there at a table with other people in your family, and you feel like you cannot speak. Like you literally cannot speak. You'll get a lump in your throat, and all of a sudden you will forget the thought you were just about to say. And you know it's not because you have any sort of memory problem. It's a display of submission. So what it really is at the level of the chakras is there is a blockage in the 5th chakra, and it is part of the 5-3 chakra mirror, which is the throat chakra and the solar plexus chakra, which is, in put it another way, is in the communication power chakra mirror. So when we feel overpowered, we will display submission from our 3rd chakra, and that will manifest as silence. So you literally feel that you are not allowed to speak, that you don't have permission to speak, or that what you would say would be attacked. There's a lot of 5-3 issues here, and pile 2, I'm feeling that you were just terribly criticized by people in your past. I'm so sorry for this. I'm seeing a lot of people in pile 2 who just couldn't do anything right. And of course you were a child, you were flawed like all human beings are flawed, and overly criticized for these minor mistakes. I'm so sorry for that. I feel that you have friends, you attract and you seek even in your friendship dynamics, people who are always telling you what you should do. This is what you should do. You try to tell them a situation, you wish they would just listen, but they co-opt the entire conversation and start giving you advice when really you just wanted a listening ear. And you're the listening ear for all of your friends because of this blockage in the 5-3 chakra mirror. You literally will say nothing while people pour their entire heart out, and it's hard for you to find the words to say, I do have something else going on. I've enjoyed our conversation. Let's talk later. I'm about to go do this. And you can practice those words, exactly those words, and you will get better and better and better at saying them and setting clear boundaries as far as your time. Use words to carve out time. Your work is really stressing you out, pile 2, because of the placement of these 2 cards next to each other, and I am sorry for that. Some of you are in a management position and you really, really hate having to write people's reviews. You hate it. You hate having to criticize them, and you strongly morally object to the concept of constructive criticism because you know it's bullshit. And feedback. Nobody likes feedback. It's called feedback because the microphone isn't hooked up properly, and that's why it makes such a horrible loud noise that nobody wants to hear. So you are a great manager because you do find ways to say things that could hurt other people in the least painful way. You're so good at it at work, and yet in your personal life, that's where it's hard for you. Pile 2, beautiful energy. Some forgiveness to do with parents and other people in your past who were strongly critical of you. And so let's get some messages from the 4 archangels right now. There are more than 4 archangels, but for this reading, we're just going to get messages from 4 of them. And we're going to use this gorgeous deck, this Art Nouveau deck. It's so beautiful. So we're going to get a message, 1 card from Archangel Michael, 1 card from Archangel Gabriel, 1 card from Archangel Uriel, and 1 card from Archangel Zadkiel. So we will start out with Archangel Michael. God, please surround me with extra angels of truth, led by Archangel Michael. And Archangel Michael's so cool because he is that battle angel. He is that archangel. And he will be there for you even in just a minor argument, just in a minor disagreement. He'll be there to help both people speak the truth and to add harmony and love, divine love, into the mix so that people are kind, so that people are less critical, but they still state their desires clearly. Okay. Now, when we get the Knight of Cups, and isn't this just a gorgeous card? I mean, I just have to say this whole deck is just stunning. When we get the Knight of Cups, it's almost always an invitation that's coming to us saying, this is what's next. And it's usually a really beautiful invitation. For pile 2 people, I'm seeing that there is going to be an opportunity coming in your life. And you should absolutely say yes to this. And for some of you, you already know what it is. And you're thinking right now, oh my gosh, I was thinking about this and I wasn't sure what I should do. And Archangel Michael is saying, there's so much opportunity for love here and for you to have just a great, beautiful time. It's not even necessarily part of your, spiritual path to grow and learn and forgive. It's really an opportunity to have fun. And what a gorgeous card. This energy is coming in very gallant, chivalrous, a beautiful opportunity. It might be travel for some of you. I love this. It might be travel to a beach. It might be something that has to do with warm weather. And it may be with people in your past that you don't always get along with, that there is conflict with. And Archangel Michael is saying, take the opportunities that you get, because we never know how long we have left in our life. So when we get these opportunities to do fun things, we at the end of our lives, we want to look back at every choice we made and go, I'm glad I did that. That was awesome. Now, let's get a message from a good news pile too. There wasn't a whole lot from Archangel Michael like there was in pile 1. So I'm getting that the people in your life now who are criticizing you, using words as weapons, they're not nearly as sharp as word weapons as the ones that were used to inflict pain on you when you were young. Now, the second card is going to come from Archangel Gabriel. Okay. Archangel Gabriel is showing us this beautiful Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is a great fire energy. It's this beautiful Sagittarius, really strong Sagittarius. You might have a Sagittarius child, niece, nephew, son, daughter. For some of you, it might be a stepchild. There's this energy of someone fun and friendly and warm in your life. Someone that you have the opportunity to use words as tools to build them up, to have the self-esteem in their lives that you did not have because of the way that words were used to tear you down when you were young. This is an amazing message from Archangel Gabriel because Archangel Gabriel sees that you in your own life act as a guardian angel for people. I'm seeing so much white light and divine love, and a lot of people who chose pile 2 really resonate with the energy of the Holy Spirit, and they feel so much angel energy around them every day. Pile 2, you guys are so in sync with Archangel Gabriel. And Archangel Gabriel himself, you know, every once in a while the archangels do embody on earth, and when they do, it's often a very strong fire or very strong water or very strong air type of energy. And with Archangel Gabriel, it's so fiery, and it's just this most wonderful, you know, if you had to compare it to something that is actually made of fire, you would say like a campfire, that you're warming your hands over it. You just feel so happy. The smell of the fire and the warmth usually the people associate with being with friends around the campfire. That's Archangel Gabriel, this wonderful warm energy. And I feel this so strongly around everybody who chose pile 2. Just Archangel Gabriel's with you right now. I mean, if you're sitting on the couch, there's Archangel Gabriel sitting next to you and just sending you this amazing love and saying, you can be the guardian angel that you wish you had when you were a teenager, when you were a kid, who would give you just that praise, that encouragement, that word of advice, that love. Beautiful energy, pile 2. Okay, let's get a card that is a message from Archangel Uriel. Archangel Uriel is so beautiful. He is the Archangel of Peace. And so if you're ever inclined to pray for world peace and world joy, you can say, God, I join in prayer with the angels of peace led by Archangel Uriel. Please let there be world peace and world joy. And Archangel Uriel, he helps us when we're mourning, when we're grieving, to feel comfort. He'll be with you when you're nervous before a job interview. Just a beautiful, amazing energy, Archangel Uriel. Wow, Archangel Uriel. Uriel is going to give us 2 cards for pile 2. Okay, so speaking of being nervous before an exam or a test, Archangel Uriel is really strongly giving a message to pile 2 people. Do not be nervous. Just take that deep breath and say, fear is going to help me by flooding my whole body with adrenaline. So I'm going to think more clearly. I'm going to be able to remember information more quickly and just embrace it. So while you're sitting there, you're going to know Archangel Uriel is standing behind me. He's helping me feel calm, cool, collected in the midst of fear. You can have both. You can take that fear and go, hey, this is my survival instinct, helping me think even more clearly, helping me fight harder with words as tools to write the answer to an essay question. You can do it. And there's some sort of, this is often the card of schooling, so this might be an exam you're going to take to get into higher education, or it might be the SATs. It might be you're helping someone who's a child in your life fill out an application for a job or for a school or to prepare for a test. It might be you taking the exam to get into medical school, law school, whatever it is. It might be that you are finishing up and taking a test for a license. Whatever it is, it's some sort of exam that has to do with school, and you're going to be great. You're going to do wonderfully. The response is going to come back with great news. Feel Archangel Uriel around you saying it's going to be great. Now, there may be an invitation or an opportunity to do something a little different from what you were originally expecting. And let's get this fourth card so we can, or in this case for pile 2, a fifth card, but let's get this card from Archangel Zadkiel and see Archangel Zadkiel's message to your inner child and see if we can't get a little more clarity. And for some of you, the criticism that you experienced as a young person came from a teacher or an instructor who told you you would never do this thing. So for example, you took ballet and the instructor said you will never be a professional dancer, or you took violin and the teacher said you will never be a professional violinist, something like that. And we want to forgive that person, because when that person has a very strong energy and we have a very memorable experience, their energy imprints our auric field. That leaves a depression in the auric field, and their energy is stuck there like a little magnet, which then causes us to later in life seek people with that same sort of energy so that we can recreate that same power dynamic where we felt like shit and the other person is using words as weapons to make us feel like shit. Okay, so Archangel Zadkiel. All right. Now, Archangel Zadkiel coming through. Archangel Zadkiel is such a beautiful energy. I will attempt to put into words how amazing he is. This is the person that smiles at you and suddenly you know you can do anything. All the confidence in the world. And I say this in many a video, but if we define confidence as I believe in me, let's define faith as I can feel God's belief in me. And if Archangel Zadkiel were to embody in front of you right now and look you in the eye and smile at you, you would feel like you could do anything because God believes in you. Pile 2, all you have to do is forgive those people in your past who told you you couldn't do it. And I'm going to teach you really quick how to do this, because all the joy is coming. All of your dreams are coming true, pile 2. This is how you do it. You're going to say, God, please surround me with extra angels of forgiveness led by Archangel Zadkiel. Please surround this person. So let's say we're forgiving this person who told you you'd never be a professional whatever when you grew up. Please surround this person with extra angels of forgiveness led by Archangel Zadkiel. Please don't let them hurt anyone else the way they hurt me by telling me that I would never blank. Please let me be healed of all pain and sadness and filled with joy, and let this other person be healed of all pain and sadness and filled with joy through all space and time. Miracles happen. Give yourself 7 consecutive days and forgive this person from the past who's holding a false image of yourself and a false vision of your future up in their 6th chakra. Forgive them for 7 days in a row, and you are going to see absolute miracles in your life, and you will be filled with inspiration and drive to take new action and to succeed in ways that you never believed you would have. Beautiful energy, pile 2. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear your comments below, and please like and subscribe. Pile 3, welcome. You chose the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot, a beautiful deck that I recently got. I think you're really going to love your reading. So of course, Pile 3, I'm going to ask God to surround me with extra angels of guidance led by Archangel Gabriel. And please God, let me give Pile 3 a really awesome reading and give them the information that will help them as we get some clarity on the message that the archangels have for you and your inner child. Okay, we're going to pull 2 cards from the angels deck and then 2 cards from the chakras deck so that I can get a good idea of which area of life you are dealing with at the moment. Okay, so we've got the angel of claircognizance, and then, wow, your guardian angel came up. That's very interesting. When that card comes up, we are dealing with the feeling of not being on our life path, where we feel that somewhere along the way, we actually made a decision that altered the trajectory of our life. Now we'll get 2 cards from the chakras deck. Please God, surround everyone in Pile 3 with extra angels of guidance. Let their hearts be healed of all pain and sadness and filled with joy through all space and time. Pile 3, getting a lot of water energy from you guys. A lot of water energy, and some of you are feeling like you're overwhelmed. And I hear you actually thinking sometimes you feel like you're drowning. Okay. God, we're going to ask, please God, surround everybody in Pile 3 with extra angels of support. Help them feel like they are supported and they know exactly what action to take to get out of a situation that they don't want to be in. Give them the strength to endure any pain and suffering that they cannot immediately end, and help them figure out a way to end the pain. Okay. Guys, wow, okay. Wow, okay. Pile 3. Oh, there is some really deep emotional pain coming up. Now, for many of us, our inner child could just as easily be our inner teenager. How the auric field works is in our earliest experiences, whether it's as a baby, a child, a teenager, before our personality is fully set, which neuroscientists tell us is at about age 25 when our prefrontal cortex stops growing and our brain is fully done developing. Experiences that we have with people will imprint our auric field. So if a person is with us often, every single day for the first 18 years of our life, let's say it's our mom, her energy is going to strongly influence our energy because she is in our periphery all the time. So essentially her energy is imprinting our auric field all day, every day. But one trauma-based experience, one traumatic experience with one person, whether it lasts 15 minutes or 15 hours, can just as pervasively imprint our auric field, because the energy is so strong from that other person's auric field that it imprints our auric field and creates a depression, and then their energy is then imprinted in that depression. So it's literally a hole that is created and then filled with that person's energy. Now, divine love, whether you want to call that divine love or the Holy Spirit or violet fire, whatever you want to call it, can come in and heal those cavities. Okay, essentially think of it as a divine love filling that's going to drill away all of the toxicity or poison or we're going to just call it energy that we don't want rather than labeling it, okay? And replace it with divine love. And the key to having this spiritual filling take place is forgiveness. And I'm getting from this pile 3 that you had some very traumatic experiences, whether it was as a baby, a child, or a teenager, that were sexual experience that caused you to have your auric field imprinted through this traumatic event. And what happens when we become adults is you still have that auric depression filled with that other person's energy, and it acts as a magnet. And then later in life, we're compelled to seek other people who have a similar energy to fill that auric wound with their energy and recreate that original power dynamic, which is usually one of a power disparity, where you, the person who has the auric wound, are in the position of least power and the other person is in the position of most power. So I'm seeing with pile 3 a lot of deep pain, and that your free will was violated, and that you are having issues now as an adult person in even asserting your will, even in the most basic of ways. Even when you have total free will and someone's giving you a choice, you've got 5 different options, you can't decide. You can't figure out what you want. You're standing in the store, there's 5 shelves of shampoo and conditioner. You can't make up your mind because your free will and autonomy was so violated in the past that it is very hard for you to make a decision and just pick something now in the present. The claircognizance, that is a gift that you have because you're so aware of when danger is coming, because you've experienced it in the past, that you know what to look for. So you're very, very aware. You have a heightened awareness of when danger is coming. You can even feel it when it's coming not 10 feet away, but 10 minutes away. You can feel it when you get into the car, you turn over the ignition and you can feel, okay, something's not right. I have to be extra aware of danger. I have to be hypervigilant as I drive to avoid an accident. And I'm seeing pile 3 people, you have often avoided accidents and you have wondered, how did I just have the perfect reflex at that moment? And it's because you experienced danger in the past. You feel it deeply at the level of your gut. You know when danger is coming. You're super aware of it. Super street smart. This is the pile of people who are just eyes in the back of their head, so to speak. You've got a guardian angel energy about you. So sometimes you are the guardian angel for other people. And they have said, oh my gosh, thank you so much for watching over me. Now, let's get some cards from the Edgar Allan Poe deck. We're going to get 1 card from Archangel Michael, 1 card from Archangel Gabriel, 1 card from Archangel Uriel, and 1 card from Archangel Zadkiel. And we're going to see what message they have for your inner child, or inner teenager, or inner baby, whatever it may be. The number 7 is coming up. For some of you, you were the 7th child, or you were born in the 7th month. Something about 7. Let's see what Archangel Michael has for us. Okay, so we have the Knight of Pentacles. What a beautiful deck, and what a beautiful rendition of the Knight of Pentacles. A dog and a cat and plenty of money. That's true for the Knight of Pentacles. People who have experienced trauma in the past are often really, really good at making money quickly. So coming up with $200, $300 over a couple of days is way easier for people with this sort of past experience than it is for most other people. Most other people would think, oh, what am I going to do? I guess I'll have to go get a loan. I'll have to put it on a credit card. And this type of, pile 3 type of person says, oh, don't you know there are other ways to come up with money real quick? You have a gift. And Archangel Michael says, you are very, very good at coming up with money this way. And it's time. Archangel Michael really strongly wants you to start setting money aside in savings and making sure that you have money that you can rely on, that you can get from yourself, and you don't have to get it from anybody else. You don't have to be beholden or obligated or indebted to anybody else, because you have your own backup plan. Now let's get a card from Archangel Gabriel for pile 3. Pile 3, you guys are so strong. Just incredible fortitude here. I would not be surprised if the strength card came up. Okay. All right. Archangel Gabriel. The message from Archangel Gabriel is symbolized by the 9 of Cups. What a beautiful card. This is the card of such happiness. This card is coming up because Archangel Gabriel wants to know you are so loved. You are surrounded by extra angels, and you have endured a lot of pain. And sometimes the reason that we, as souls, are okay with, at the soul level before we're born, we're okay with knowing there will be pain during our life on earth. The reason that we're okay with it is because we know that we will have an opportunity to forgive. And when we get that opportunity, we're loving people not because they've earned it with behavior that deserves it, but simply because they exist. And when we do that in that moment of forgiveness, we love the way that God does. Pile 3, you guys are going to have such an amazing life. And some of you know that you've already had amazing adventures, that you've already had just incredible travels, road trips, great adventures with friends. I can see a few of you even did scenarios like going into treatment or into some sort of recovery program, living in a group home or a halfway house with a bunch of people and having a blast, just loving it, just having such a great time, even in the midst of a situation where you weren't totally there because you consented to it, but because you had to be there. And you made friends wherever you went. In fact, some of you who chose pile 3, have friends in every state. Literally, you have 25 cities you could go to tomorrow and you'd have a bunch of friends you could hang out with. Really resourceful, and Archangel Gabriel is wanting you to know it. Gabriel really is being kind of frank here. Yes, there has been such shit in your life, and it has sucked. There have been times where it really was just awful and you felt like, why? You literally were wringing your hands going, why? Why is this happening? And for some of you, it was the feeling of, why is this happening again? Why is this happening again? And so frustrated, and you felt like God has just abandoned me and these other people in this situation. Please know that that was not the case. A lot of things on earth are just whatever happens. It's not always for a reason. And I won't lie to people, as a spiritual reader, when people say, oh, it was meant to be. No, it's just because anything can happen on earth. And so anything does. Horrible, horrific shit happens on earth. People get, abducted into the underground slave trade. People end up homeless through no fault of their own. People end up addicted to drugs, literally because they were given drugs as kids. Not because they ever wanted to be, shooting up heroin under a bridge. People who were victims of profound abuse. And some of you in pile 3, that's exactly what happened. And I'm so sorry for this. And I hope you know that God works really hard to send angels into all the darkest places on earth, even if it's only the person who, gave you a few bucks so you could buy some water. God works really, really hard to send angels into the situations earth angels into the situations, and then sometimes just Archangel Gabriel or Archangel Michael will appear and nudge the guardian angel of some random person on earth who is near you or around you to offer some help or to offer some cash or food. The forgiveness is going to be harder for some of the people in pile 3 because you conflate forgiving with forgetting, and forgiving with saying that you don't want that person to be held accountable for their crimes, literally their crimes. And so I would just suggest you to think of, prison and jail as a quarantine for sick mofos who hurt others. So we're not saying that they shouldn't be charged with a crime and then sentenced to many, many years in prison when we forgive them. They're two separate situations. Forgiveness is over here, where we say, please God, let me be healed of all pain and sadness, and please let the other person be healed of all pain and sadness. Why? So that they won't hurt anyone else the same way they hurt you. That's the real reason to forgive. We're not forgiving because it's the right thing to do. We're not forgiving because religion tells us to. We're forgiving because it literally prevents future pain of the same nature. So if we say, God, please let me be healed of all pain and sadness and filled with joy, let the other person be healed of all pain and sadness and filled with joy, what's going to happen? If their heart is completely healed of all pain and sadness and filled with joy, you know what's going to happen? A sociopath or a psychopath who cannot actually feel guilt and regret after they've hurt someone is suddenly going to be overwhelmed with regret and empathy. And they're going to be compelled to confess. They're going to be compelled to want to make amends for the terrible crimes that they've committed. So I want you to know that forgiveness is actually one of the fastest, easiest ways to get justice in an ironic way. So please know that we are not saying it's okay that they did anything. In particular, we're not saying it's okay that they committed crimes. We're not saying that they shouldn't go to prison for a long, long time. We are saying we want them to be healed of the pain and sadness that caused them to hurt you in the first place so that they don't hurt someone else in the second place. Now, you've got so many guardian angels around you, and I hope, Archangel Gabriel here, just as a follow-up, just wants you to think back to some of those more awful times in your life and remember a person or two that suddenly just seemed to appear and helped you out, because that person was sent by God, and Archangel Gabriel helped. Okay, Archangel Uriel. And Archangel Uriel is the third archangel we're going to get a message from, and he's amazing. Archangel Uriel oversees all the angels of peace. So when people are grieving, when people are mourning, when people are feeling just terrible anxiety, Archangel Uriel and the angels of peace will often surround that person to help them feel comfort. Now, we're getting the Page of Wands here. That could be someone in your life. Now, of course, these images are not the traditional images because it's the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot. So typically the Page of Wands is wearing this particular outfit with salamanders on it, holding a goblet. So when the Page of Wands appears, it's usually a person in our life that's younger than we are, that is kind of childlike, even if they're 25 or 30 years old, they just are sort of a free spirit, very sweet, but also they might have a bad temper. In this situation, because it's a message from Archangel Uriel, this is telling me, especially because it's kind of overlapping with the sexuality card, it's telling me that there's someone in your life that you are a role model for, maybe even without realizing it, but they are looking up to you for guidance and to see how to handle life's pain. And Archangel Uriel is reminding you to take your anxiety or fear or panic and remember in that moment that you're being watched, that people in your life are looking up to you, and they're seeing you and the way that you handle conflict, and they're going to remember it and handle conflict that way when they're your age. So this is a friendly reminder that you have it within you to call on the angels of peace led by Archangel Uriel and say, hey, I'm really terrified in this situation. Please, God, surround me with extra angels so I can handle this situation and know what to do. Please tell me what to do. You will. The angels never don't answer a prayer. Now, sometimes if we're praying for vengeance or, some sort of suffering for another person, all they can do is pray for you to be filled with love in response. But all prayers are answered. So you might as well ask for something that they can actually give you, which is peace, comfort, clarity, strength. All of those things. Now let's get a fourth card here, and we're going to get a message from Archangel Zadkiel. And Archangel Zadkiel is so awesome. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. There's the card that we want. Archangel Zadkiel is so awesome. And I love how it's blue and it matches this other card. He is the Archangel of Joy. And because he's the Archangel of Joy, he's also the Archangel of Forgiveness, because forgiving is what opens up our heart chakra and helps us to feel the purest joy that there is, and that is God's love. So the Queen of Cups here is coming up because there's a lot of emotion. The Queen of Cups is essentially the personification of emotion, for better or for worse. So when we're so emotional we can't think straight, or when we're so loving, we're so maternal, we're so paternal that we're just able to unconditionally love people. It's this very emotional card. And Archangel Zadkiel really, the message here really, really strongly coming through from Archangel Zadkiel is that your emotions are often out of control, and they're making you feel like they're stormy waters that are overwhelming you, threatening to capsize your boat in an ocean of stress, sadness. There's a lot of sadness coming from this pile. A lot of, I'm seeing people in pile 3 just sitting there and crying sometimes. And that's important, because when we cry, we excrete the toxicity of past trauma through our tear ducts, literally in the form of tears. Archangel Zadkiel is telling you that is actually important. And if you ever find yourself crying and you want to beat yourself up for that and say, oh, I shouldn't be crying, please know that it's actually very important, and it's a part of processing trauma, because pain is stored in our physical body and it can come out through our tear ducts, through crying. And there's more about this in the Chakra Mirror Math book if you are interested in reading about that. But essentially, Archangel Zadkiel is saying, when these strong emotions come up, try to get yourself away from other people for a few minutes, even if it's just going into the bathroom at work or even at home, and just allow yourself to feel that sadness and go ahead and cry. Go ahead and set a timer and give yourself those few minutes to just be sad, and then do the forgiveness that we talked about earlier. And for those of you who are really just feeling like, I just can't bring myself to forgive, okay, that's where you're at. Take 7 days, 7 consecutive days, put an alert on your phone, and when the alert pops up, all you're going to do is say, God, just put the desire to forgive in my heart. I'm not committing to it. I'm only saying just put the desire to forgive in my heart if it would actually help me. Only if it would help me. Put the desire to forgive in my heart. Just do this for 7 days in a row. Miracles are going to happen in your life. You're not saying that you don't want that other person to have to go to jail, go to prison, and actually have a consequence for the things that they did that were illegal, unethical, and immoral. That is not That's not the case. And as we evolve as human beings and our hearts open and the collective heart chakra opens, we look at prison as not a punishment, but as a quarantine, as a place to literally keep sick people away from the rest of society until they get better. And so your forgiving them is going to help them get better faster so that they don't hurt anyone else the way they hurt you. Forgiving prevents future pain of the same nature. That's the reason to do it. Not because it's the right thing to do. Not because religion said, oh, you have to. You don't have to. You know that. You are a free person. You don't have to forgive. So just set that alert on your phone and say, God, only if it would actually help me, only if it would actually help me be a better, happier person, a better, happier mother, a better, happier father, a better, happier worker, only if it would help me be happier, put the desire to forgive in my heart. Just the desire. I'm not committing to actually forgiving. Just put the desire to forgive in my heart. Pile 3, you are going to make it. This 9 of Cups card came up because your life is going to be amazing. And really take a good look at your past. Haven't you had some really awesome times? Because I'm seeing some really cool, fun adventures that you had, and that you are just a beautiful, sparkly conversationalist. You make friends wherever you go. Wonderful. Thank you, Pile 3. I hope you will leave a comment in the comment box below, and thank you so much for watching. Pile 4, welcome to your reading. Now, Pile 4, this is funny. For the other 3 piles so far, I have started with the Chakras and Angels deck, but for you guys, I just really feel drawn to getting your angel message card first, your angel messages cards from the 4 archangels that we're going to get messages from: Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, and Archangel Zadkiel. And I just love this deck, and I feel that many of you too were so drawn to this beautiful purple color. And it's such a 7th chakra color, and it's also the color that corresponds to Archangel Zadkiel and the Angels of Joy. In Pile 4, I'm just getting so much interesting energy from you guys, and that's why I'm so curious about your 4 cards here. And of course, I'm always going to start every reading basically the same way, going, God, please surround me with extra angels of guidance, led by Archangel Gabriel, and surround everybody who picked Pile 4 with extra angels of guidance, led by Archangel Gabriel. Please let their hearts be flooded with divine love, and let them be healed through all space and time. Pile 4, wow, Pile 4. You guys are just, there's something so interesting about this pile. I think that was 2 cards, but that's going to be the 4th card. Okay. All right, Pile 4. Wow. Okay. This was your message. The World card came up as the message from Archangel Michael. The Lovers came up as the message from Archangel Gabriel. The Page of Cups came as the message from Archangel Uriel. And the Ace of Cups from Archangel Zadkiel. Okay. Wow. Pile 4, you guys are looking for your soulmate. That's what's happening here. And now it's coming clear to me. It's becoming clear to me. You picked Pile 4 because of the 4th chakra, and you are very, very intent on finding your soulmate. Let me just do a quick reminder for people who are unfamiliar with the Chakra Mirror Math, but the Chakra Mirror Math reveals our 8th chakra, which is our soulmate's 4th chakra. So in the Chakra Mirror Math, there's the 7-1 chakra mirror. So the 7th chakra mirrors the 1st, and 7 plus 1 is 8. The 6th chakra mirrors the 2nd, and 6 plus 2 is 8. The 5th chakra mirrors the 3rd, and 5 plus 3 is 8. The 4th chakra mirrors, well, the 4th chakra mirrors your soulmate's 4th chakra, and 4 plus 4 is 8. So the Chakra Mirror Math reveals this secret hidden 8th chakra, which is our soulmate's heart chakra. So people who chose Pile 4, you guys are on a mission to find your soulmate, and the archangels have some things to say to your inner child. So we're going to get those messages. And I want to definitely pull 2 chakra cards and 2 angel cards to see where we're going with this. Not a coincidence that you got the Lover's card and the Ace of Cups. A lot of you guys are interested in like Tantra, and there's a lot of sexual energy coming through. Some of you might be sex therapists or thinking about going into that business. Some of you might be sex workers. There's a heavy emphasis on sex and love and soulmates in this particular pile. Okay. All right, and now I'm going to get 2 angel cards here. We are going to go back over each of those tarot cards, but I was just intuitively led at the beginning of the section for this pile to get those 4 cards right away. Okay, let's get 2 angel cards here. Wow. Wow, okay. Oh, okay, wow. So there are some Reiki healers who pick pile 4. There are some yoga teachers. There are some other fellow tarot card readers and psychics and people who do intuitive readings for a living who pick pile 4. Wow. Okay. A lot of you were essentially not the black sheep of your family, but I want to say the light worker sheep. You were the one that didn't fit in. And this is for many people in pile 4, not all. You were the one that didn't fit in, and later you kind of found your niche in life through new agey stuff. And some people in your family don't particularly care for that and have been critical of it. But for a lot of you, what I'm getting as far as your inner child is that you were loners. You spent a lot of time just completely alone when you were young. You were so independent. There's that fine line between, being totally free and then kind of being neglected. And for many of you, that was your childhood. You were just so independent. You had so much autonomy, not a whole lot of authority figures around telling you what to do and when to do it. And so you just sort of learned to be independent. And that allowed you to have lots of access to adult information, like books on tarot, books on palm reading, books on sexuality, things that you wouldn't have seen if you had people monitoring what you were watching on TV, what you were searching on the internet. So you had a lot of time on your own. And you really, because you learned by trial and error versus an adult or a parent showing you how to do something, you have this ability to guide other people. And some of you are like shamanic healers. You run retreats. You engage in like Native American medicine. I'm seeing a lot of people who run retreats and or run centers where people come and they need a guide, to give them the tour. There's a lot of people who find themselves in the de facto leadership position. So it's not as though people are trying to follow you like a cult leader, but they are following the guidance that you provide to them. And some of you actually are in communes. And some of you actually are in, or have been in the past, in a cult. And you got out of it. So congratulations for getting out of it. And some of you were in a religious scenario that might as well have been a cult. Beautiful card here. Okay, so let's break down exactly what the cards are saying. So I want to first talk about this families. Some of you were in foster homes, and so the overriding theme for pile 4 is that you've never really felt that you actually have a group of people that you would say, that is my family. You have people that you're biologically related to, of course, but you don't exactly feel like they are your family in the traditional sense. You've often felt you've often spent holidays alone, or with just a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or traveling or working. I'm seeing a lot of people who've done energy work, whether it was chakras, like a specific chakra healing modality, or Reiki. Yeah, yes, okay, so lots of pile 4 people have tried basically every single alternative healing modality that there is. So we've got the family issue, where you really feel like you're even still searching, and you really want to find your soulmate because you believe that is going to be how you get that sense of family. And that's probably true. If that's your feeling, and that's your intuitive feeling, and you're super, super intuitive, pile 4, then that's probably the case. And actually the cards are saying that as well. So we've got this deep sense of autonomy. You don't like being told what to do. You prefer to be self-employed. And then specifically, the message that's coming from Archangel Michael, this is really important, is to balance your feeling of being not really earthbound, feeling like, oh, this is just my temporary existence, this life won't be forever, with your other awareness that you are rooted here. You do have a physical body. You are on Earth for at least a few decades, if not, 10 or more. So Archangel Michael is saying to get really, really clear and to ask God for additional clarity as far as how do you straddle these two planes, the spiritual realm that you prefer to be in when you spend 2 hours meditating, or 3 hours visualizing world joy and world peace, or an hour in your sauna retreat where you're doing mushrooms, with the very real life requirements of driving a car, getting groceries, eating food, physical reality that is important, and in many ways is a gift and is really cool. It's cool to have a physical body. It's amazing. It's capable of amazing pleasure, and it's your car, basically your soul's car for driving around, physically walking and moving. So Archangel Michael is saying really balance and start actively giving thanks and feeling gratitude for how awesome Earth is. As bad as the horrible shit about Earth is, Archangel Michael is saying, let's remember, though, it's awesome to have a physical body. It's awesome to be capable of pleasure and eating food and drinking water and feeling the beautiful texture of fabrics and water and smelling the beautiful scents of flowers. Archangel Michael is saying, once a day, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, whatever time of day works best for you, when you go outside, give thanks for something that corresponds to all 5 senses. So I'm so thankful I can hear the sound of the rain. I'm so thankful I can smell the scent of baking bread. Just go through the 5 senses and give thanks for something to really anchor yourself in a feeling of gratitude for this beautiful physical body that you have. Because as wonderful as it is that you are engaging in the spiritual aspect of life, the physical aspect is just as important while you're here. Now, Archangel Gabriel is saying, yes, that soulmate relationship that you want, that is coming. It's real. The entire universe knows you've been looking for a long time and saying, hey, where's my soulmate? I'm ready. And if you're in a soulmate relationship, it's a reminder to really love and give thanks for such a beautiful gift, because ultimately that is the real reason that we experience separation from God, is so that once we find our soulmate, we can actually re-experience oneness right here on earth. Experience the oneness with our soulmate through sexual union, and it recreates the oneness that our soul experienced with God before separation. Now, Archangel Uriel is our third archangel that's going to give us a message today to our inner child. And I really, you guys are such a fascinating group. Some of you say I'm an old soul. I never really was a child. Even when I was a child, it was like I was a 70-year-old wise woman or crone or wise man or shaman in my, 8-year-old body. And I'm seeing this is why I'm getting these messages that are so tailored to now. We're going to go back to each of these cards, but let's do this. Archangel Uriel, the Archangel of Peace, and Archangel Uriel and the Archangel Uriel and the Angels of Peace that Archangel Uriel oversees, they surround us when we're grieving, if we're mourning, if we've lost a pet recently, to help us feel comfort in the midst of bereavement. Also, if you are prone to anxiety, but I'm not seeing that as much in this group, pile 4. So Archangel Uriel, this is a very interesting card that the Page of Cups came up, because it's definitely the card of a new opportunity. But in this case, I see you, person who chose this reading, offering the opportunity. And so Archangel Uriel is saying, remember that because you are such a conduit for divine love and for healing and for joy, remember to be offering sometimes energy where you're not getting anything in return, because you're so blessed. You are so gifted as a person, pile 4, with so many intuitive gifts. Some of you are naturally really good at starting your own business and making a lot of money. So this is the reminder from Archangel Uriel to offer other people some comfort, some peace, even anonymously, perhaps, by making a donation to an organization that you believe is doing good work on Earth. A lot of Earth angels and light workers in this group. And this might even be, for some of you, this would be a reminder to volunteer with kids. Since you did not exactly feel like you had a childhood or much of a childhood, this would be a way for you to volunteer and give back, maybe be, help out through helping kids read, doing math, whatever it is that you're good at helping with, after school, volunteering. Maybe it's only an hour a week or even, an hour a month, but it's some way that you are sharing those gifts that you have, that you are usually so good at monetizing, in a way where it's a true donation of your time. Okay, and then this card is so awesome. So Archangel Zadkiel, of course, is the archangel of joy. And because forgiveness is what opens our heart and our heart chakra and helps us feel joy, Archangel Zadkiel is truly the archangel of forgiveness. So this beautiful card with the Ace of Cups, it is yet another reference to your soulmate, just like this Lover's card was. So this is really a reminder of how blessed you are, that your inner child always knew that your real parents were God. Yes, you had a mom and a dad that had sex and got pregnant with you and gave you a physical body to play in on earth. But at the end of the day, you've always known, Pile 4, that your real parents were God, that you are a spiritual being with a soul, and that is who you really are. And Pile 4, just as a brief message again from each of the archangels to your inner child, this world card is saying, if you are having a memory that pops up of a time when you were young where there was just pain and suffering, to give thanks, that same 5 sense gratitude exercise where you might go outside tomorrow morning and say, I'm so thankful for this, the smell of the cherry blossoms and the sound of the rushing water from that fountain over there. If you have a memory that comes up from your past, do the same exact thing for your life at that time. So thankful that I had the sound of the voice of my favorite teacher so-and-so. So thankful that I had the texture of my warm mittens that somebody, grandma so-and-so knitted for me. Whatever it is, do that same exercise of gratitude with the 5 senses and apply it to your life at that time. Okay, and then Archangel Gabriel, the message to your inner child would be, aren't you so lucky that you knew even when you were a kid that you were going to be with your soulmate someday? And just a reminder that if you are not with your soulmate, to keep looking. Keep looking, because that person, you are destined to be with them. You will be with them. And then Archangel Uriel with the Page of Cups, the message to your inner child would be how lucky you were. Remember, in the midst of even pain, you always had that one friend that you could hang out with. And you had a couple best friends. According to Archangel Uriel, you had a couple of really good friends that you hung out with, that even in the midst of being lonely, you had friends that you hung out with. And even when I'm seeing a lot of you went over to a friend's house and hung out there a lot. And so it's a reminder, all of these archangels are just telling me, Pile 4, in the midst of some really bad things that happened, there were people around you that gave you that sense of family, even though they weren't your real family. And it has caused you to be this person who is loving as an adult. The gratitude is really important. All 4 of the archangels are really impressing upon me to relay this message to Pile 4 people. To anytime you think of something negative that happened, that was an opportunity to forgive, essentially, when you were young, to remember what awesome things were there. Because some of the other piles, they didn't have any awesomeness in the midst of pain. They just had the struggle. Pile 4, what good work you are doing, my Earth Angels and Light Workers. What amazing work you are doing. Thank you for that. And please like and subscribe and leave a comment in the comment box below. Welcome, Pile 5, to your reading. And thank you so much for watching. Now, Pile 5, you chose the beautiful Lightworker Oracle. It's such a gorgeous deck. And first we're going to get 2 angel cards and 2 chakra cards to really help me nail down and get some clarity about which categories of life you are dealing with right now. So, of course, I'll always start the reading by asking God to surround me with extra angels of guidance. Led by Archangel Gabriel, help me give Pile 5 a really good reading. And please surround everybody who chose Pile 5 with extra angels of guidance, led by Archangel Gabriel. And please flood their hearts with divine love through all space and time. Okay, we got the Angel of Meditation and the Angel of Creativity. And let's get 2 chakra cards as well. Pile 5, very cool energy. I'm getting some really humanitarian energy, like some Aquarius energy, Libra, and doesn't mean you have to be an Aquarius or a Libra. Maybe you have your North Node in Aquarius or Libra, or a rising sign. There's something about you. Some of you will laugh and say, I should have been an Aquarius, because that totally describes me. And a lot of you are writers, journalers. I'm seeing a lot of people who write poetry, songs, people who really love the beauty of the spoken and written word. And a lot of you, you just love television. You love speaking. You love watching sketch comedy. You love people in a dialogue interacting, and you like writing it yourself. Okay, pile 5. I really want to feel this. Pile 5 energy is so cool. It's so unique. A lot of gem jewelry, a lot of stone jewelry. Wow, a lot of you have a lot of tattoos with flowers and chakras. There's a lot, you know what an interesting group here. I'm going to have to actually do a few chakra cards here. All 4 of these want to come up. Okay, wow. Pile 5. Visualization, seeing, insight. Okay, so three 6th chakra cards, okay, and sacral chakra. I know this one came in between these two, but I just want to put these together because it's so cool. Wow. Some of you have tons of vision boards around you. I'm seeing a lot of candles in your house. Lots of purple, lots of blue. And then this sacral chakra, very interesting. So there's also an emphasis on sexuality that's coming through in pile 5. And creativity. And when we are not being procreative in the 2nd chakra, it frees us up to be very creative. And some of you might even be thinking, I should teach vision boarding. I should just teach it. Some of you are jewelry makers, and you feel the stone in your hand before you actually make the piece of jewelry. Some of you are jewelers, literal jewelers. Some of you deal in sell jewelry. You might have an antique shop. You might have a pawn shop. You might have, you might work in a jewelry store. There's wow, pile 5. Okay, so I want to see, and then of course you got the creativity here. This meditation card is coming up because this group should or would benefit from, ideally would benefit from yoga and meditation. And you might be thinking, oh, it's so boring. Well, maybe I could recommend to you Kundalini yoga, because it is what I like to call the non-boring yoga. You will love it. It's amazing. And the breath of fire will help you. And I love there's a free Kundalini yoga video on YouTube with Gurmukh, and it has this gong sound at the end of it. And the sound of a gong causes these beautiful sound waves to fill our aura and heal the auric wounds that happen when we're children. So when we're children, the person or people who are around us the most frequently will imprint our aura with their energy. So for example, let's say you're with your mom 24 hours a day for the first 5 years of your life. Because she's around you every day, all day, her energy imprints your aura. Now, let's say you have a traumatic experience that only lasts for 15 minutes when you're 10, for example, and that person's energy imprints your auric field, but extremely deeply, because the energy from that interaction was so strong. So, for example, if another person imposes their will upon you for a certain amount of time, whether it's 15 minutes or 15 days, and you're very young, that energy is going to have just as deep an imprint on your auric field as 5 years, 24 hours a day with your mom. Now, what happens is when a person imprints us, whether it's our mom or it's someone or a different relative, for a smaller, shorter period of time, it creates a depression or an imprint in the auric field, and then that person's energy fills it. So if it's a traumatic experience, it's going to be an auric wound. And then a magnet is left there, which compels us as adults to seek an experience that is similar. So if someone made us feel like shit, for example, and it left this magnet in that wound, we are going to be compelled to seek a similar situation that makes us feel like shit in a similar way. So with a power dynamic where we have no power and the other person has all the power, that type of power dynamic or power disparity is going to be something we are compelled to seek so that we can recreate it later in life, so that we can resolve the original opportunity to forgive. So pile 5, I'm seeing that Kundalini yoga and meditation is going to help you resolve the physical and psychic effects of these auric wounds that were created when you were a child. And for some of you, it really was a second chakra issue. And because it was a second chakra issue, and the 6th chakra mirrors the second through the Chakra Mirror Math, the ability to visualize your future and make that visualization come true might be hindered because of the second chakra issue. And it makes a lot of sense to me, because I felt as I was shuffling the deck, okay, for whatever reason, for pile 5, I want to pull 4 chakra cards instead of just 2. And that's interesting that 3 of them were 6th chakra and 1 of them was 2nd chakra, because you're so 6th chakra heavy. That's where the energy is concentrated and open and flowing. And yet, in the 2nd chakra, we've got this wound. It's keeping us from manifesting these things that we're visualizing. Sure, we visualize them, we see it, we have all the insight, but it's not coming to pass. So let's get the messages from the angels here. We're going to pull 4 cards, 1 from Archangel Michael, 1 from Archangel Gabriel, 1 from Archangel Uriel, and 1 from Archangel Zadkiel. Beautiful energy, pile 5. There was a beautiful boxed set of visualizations and guided meditations called Being a World Server. And I think it came out in the late 90s, and I used it from about 2000 to 2004. Really amazing. I think you can order it at orindeben.com. And ORIND like doctor, AB like boyfriend, EN like Nancy.com. Being a world server. And I feel that a lot of you have either done that guided visualization box set, or you would benefit from it. Wow, you guys, it's really powerful energy here. Let's get the first card from, I want to make sure it wasn't stuck together, from Archangel Michael. Now, interestingly, it comes up with Master Hilarion and Archangel Raphael. So Raphael is coming through Archangel Michael. Now, why might this be? Because for some of you, okay, this is the doctor, heal thyself sort of paradox. Some of you are healers. You're Reiki healers. You're artists. You are jewelers making this beautiful jewelry. You are candle makers making these beautiful homemade candles for people. What about the candle for you? What about the jewelry that corresponds to the particular chakra for you. What about the Reiki healing for you? So this is the reminder from Archangel Raphael through Archangel Michael that there is a healing modality that you provide for others, and it's time for you to find a provider of that healing modality for you. Okay, now I want to get another card here. And this one is going to be from Archangel Gabriel. Okay, nice. Okay, so Archangel Gabriel is the archangel that oversees all of the guardian angels. So everyone on earth has a guardian angel, and Archangel Gabriel is essentially kind of their supervisor, so to speak. And in this situation here for pile 5, Archangel Gabriel really, really wants you to quite literally go stand in the water. Like go find some water. Dig your toes into the sand of a beach. Feel the water on your hands. If you can get into a pool, a sauna, a steam room. If you can even take your shoes off under your desk at work, just so that your feet, the bottoms of your feet are touching the ground instead of being in shoes that are so uncomfortable all day. If you can, when you sit in the grass, slip off your sandals for a second, just so you can feel the grass in between your toes. It will be so healing for you. Now, I want you to do a visualization. I'm just getting this really quick from Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel. If you provide Reiki, okay, or if you've ever had a Reiki healing session or any sort of energy healing, if you do oh, this is so cool, you guys. One time I went to this singing bowls healing event, and I want to call her an instructor, okay? She wasn't exactly instructing us, but she was kind of the conduit for the healing as our guide. She was our guide. She would make these, she would touch the bowls, and this beautiful sound would fill our auric fields, and it was so healing and amazing. And I recommend that too. So for some of you, I really just felt guided to share that. It is so cool and so healing. So if you are a person who provides any of these healing modalities, the visualization for you is to see your 8-year-old self, your 6-year-old self, your 12-year-old self, even your 14, 15, 16-year-old self receiving this healing from you. Okay? So you're the Reiki healer. You go into the room, and who is laying on the table? Why, it's you. It's your 14-year-old self. And then you can imagine the entire room filled with angels and Archangel Raphael standing behind you, flooding you with divine love, and Archangel Raphael's divine love energy coming from his hands into your heart, and then that divine love coming out of your heart into your hands, going back into your heart, your 8-year-old heart, your 12-year-old heart, your 16-year-old heart. And I'm really seeing this incredible just transmission of healing energy through sound and light. And if you can do it outside, so much the better. If you can do it under moonlight, amazing. Okay, that was really cool. Wow. Okay. All right, now I want to get another card here. And this card is going to be from Archangel Uriel. And Archangel Uriel is so cool. He's just this beautiful energy. He is the Archangel of Peace. So he oversees all the angels that comfort us when we are grieving. We just lost a pet. They surround us when we are going through bereavement. They help us if we have anxiety. And the 5th ray of intellectual knowledge. Oh, this is just a beautiful card. And if you look at the whole deck, there are different rays of different types of knowledge. So this one came up because you're reading a lot. You're studying a lot. And so you are taking in new information. And I also think that because it came up within the context of a message for your inner child, if we look at it as though Archangel Uriel is saying, this is the message for your inner child, it's telling me that there's some memory that you have from school where someone who's maybe an authority figure, whether they were a coach or a teacher or somebody from, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, it might even have been, either, whether fortunately or unfortunately, a priest or a reverend or somebody through church or a rabbi, somebody who was in a position of authority over you, and it was in a school situation, a coach, somebody, and there might be an opportunity to forgive there, to again go through that healing visualization we talked about a moment ago within the context of that situation where there may have been a power disparity and you were the person who did not have the power. So Archangel Uriel is there in your memories with angels of peace to help you if it was a situation where you were feeling terrible fear and panic, you didn't know what to do. I want you to insert angels into that memory. So imagine whatever happened and let's say this was a traumatic experience. Imagine that Archangel Uriel comes in and surrounds everybody in the situation with angels of peace, helping you know this will be over, this will end, you will grow up to be a person with full autonomy, full body autonomy, agency, and you will be able to forgive this person for hurting you, and your heart will open and you will know through this violet fire energy that's going to heal all of your chakras, you will know what it is to love the way that God does, not because anyone has earned it with behavior that deserves it, but simply because they exist. This event that happened, as horrible as it was, this actually gave you this opportunity to act as a conduit for the healing power of divine love just by forgiving, just through the act of forgiving. And for many people who picked pile five, forgiveness and the actual act of forgiving is something that you do all the time. So if you are feeling though that there are some events from the past that you haven't really addressed with forgiveness, you could, and I recommended this to one other pile, you could set an alert on your phone that's just a reminder to ask for the desire to forgive. So you're not committing to forgiving this person. You're just going to say for 7 days in a row, God, please just put the desire to forgive in my heart. I'm not committing to it. I'm not doing it because it's the right thing to do or because religion says I have to. No, simply because forgiving will heal my heart and allow me to feel greater levels of joy, and it will heal this person who hurt me and allow them to feel joy. And why would we want to do that? Because if they can feel joy, they will no longer want to hurt others, which will actually prevent future pain of the same nature. If this person is healed of the desire to hurt others, it will prevent them from hurting others in the way that they hurt us. Forgiveness is really amazing. It not only heals both people involved in a situation where one person hurt the other, it actually prevents future pain of the same nature. That's how miraculous forgiving is. And speaking of forgiveness, Archangel Zadkiel is going to be the fourth archangel that we receive a message from today. And Archangel Zadkiel is the angel of joy. And because forgiving opens our heart, our fourth chakra, and fills us with divine love, it also fills us with joy, which is the ability to feel God's love. So it's cool because Archangel Zadkiel is both the archangel of joy and the archangel of forgiveness at the same time. So let's see what Archangel Zadkiel has to say for us. An invitation to connect. What a beautiful card. So Archangel Zadkiel is telling us that there's someone in the past. I'm actually getting that there may be someone in the past that is reaching out at the soul level saying, would you forgive me? And you could actually imagine seeing them in almost in a cocoon, I want to say like a crystal room, divine love cocoon realm. So between heaven and earth. And you could go into this place and they have wanted to reach out, but you don't want to do it on the physical plane because you're not sure if they're, the same as they always were, someone who uses words as weapons, someone who is not open-hearted. And so you can respond to this invitation to connect with just pure divine love, pure violet fire from Archangel Zadkiel, this forgiveness energy, and go into that space and say, I hear you wanting to reach out. And they might even actually literally be trying to reach out on social media. And you can say to them at the soul level, I hear you, and I am responding to this invitation to connect with forgiveness and violet fire from the heart of God through the heart of Archangel Zadkiel into my heart and through to your heart. And that is going to be my response to that invitation versus actually seeing you again. And I'm seeing that that is going to be, for most of the people who chose pile 5, that is going to be the best response, is going into this crystal cocoon, this realm between heaven and earth that's filled with angels, and responding to this invitation with violet fire and rays of divine love that come from God to this person's heart and from Archangel Zadkiel into your heart and into their heart without reconnecting on the physical plane. That is a very strong message coming through from Archangel Zadkiel. Pile 5, you guys are amazing world servers. I just want to pull one more card for you guys just because I feel this energy is so loving. And some of you are just earth angels and light workers who've been on earth many, many lives to help the paradigm shift from old justice vengeance paradigm to new mercy forgiveness paradigm. So I just want to pull one last card because, okay, wow. Okay, so pile 5, you guys, yes, this ties in perfectly to that world server, being a world server boxed set that I had seen in the early 2000s and highly recommend. When we are living a life of spiritual service, essentially we can be a conduit for the healing power of divine love just by being in the room. Okay, you can go to an event that might be chaotic and stay at the fringe of it, stay at the edge of it, just asking God, please surround everyone in this situation with extra angels of peace. Please, God, I join in prayer with the circle of angels that perpetually surrounds the earth and envelops it in a cocoon of divine love for everyone in this situation to be healed of all pain and sadness and filled with joy. Please flood their hearts with joy. And you can do this in a situation that could potentially be violent, or if you're not going to be there physically, if you're in the same town, you can pray for everyone in that situation. And because you're in the same city at that moment, because you're in closer physical proximity, your intention, your prayer is going to be that much stronger because you're physically close to it. Wow. Okay. I want to thank you, Pile 5, for your world service. I want to thank you, and I want you to know that the archangels, they thank you for making Earth a better place. May I suggest that you pre-forgive every morning. This is a great way to prevent future pain of the same nature all day without actually having to have it happen first and then forgive. So if you wake up every morning and do the pre-forgiveness prayer, it's God, I join in prayer with the circle of angels that perpetually surround the earth and envelop it in a cocoon of divine love. Please, God, let everyone on earth be healed of all pain and sadness and filled with joy. And if we all prayed this every morning, it would start the day off with people feeling joy, fewer car accidents, fewer natural disasters, fewer decisions that are made in anger and anxiety, and instead made from a place of love. I want to thank you, Pile 5, so much for your world service. Thank you for watching. I would love it if you made a comment in the comment box below, and see you next time.